Hi friends, my name is Joydeep. This is the first time I am doing a video blog on travel, the places that I have visited. I've been traveling for 18 years. However, last 8 years I have been traveling internationally and mostly to the Southeast Asian region. Today I am going to talk about a very unique monastery, which is also the world's largest Buddha temple. Today's session I am going to talk in two parts. The first part would be about the introduction or the history of Borobudur. The second part is about my own experience during my travel to this very unique island. Borobudur is a 9th century Mahayana Buddhist temple, which is situated in the central Java province of Indonesia. The temple consists of 9 stacked platforms. 6 of them are square and 3 of them are circular, which is topped with a central dome, which can also be considered as stupa. It is decorated with 2,672 relief panels, 504 Buddha statues, out of which 72 Buddha statues are seated inside the perforated stupa. I will talk about these perforated stupa when I will talk about my experience during the visit. This was built in the 9th century during the reign of Shailendra dynasty, and the temple design follows a very unique Java architecture which blends with the Indonesian indigenous cult and of ancestor worship and the Buddhist concept of attaining nirvana. The temple demonstrates the influence of Gupta art that reflects India's influence on this region. Yet there are enough indigenous scenes and elements incorporated to make Borobudur uniquely Indonesian. The evidence suggests that the Borobudur was constructed in 9th century and subsequently abandoned following the 14th century due to the decline of Hindu kingdoms in Java and the Javanese conversion to Islam. The worldwide knowledge of existence was sparkled in 1814 by Sir Thomas Stamford Raffles. He was then the British ruler in this region. So this is again a UNESCO World Heritage site, and it has been uniquely restored since then. And Borobudur is considered to be one of the Buddhist pilgrim locations, which is also the name of Borobudur is also taken with the name of other 2 very important Buddhist shrines in this region. One, of course, is about the Angkor Wat, which is in Cambodia, and the next one is about Bagan, Myanmar. So Borobudur, Bagan and Angkor Wat, these are the 3 main shrines of Buddhist pilgrimage in this region. This is about a brief background of Borobudur. Now I am going to describe my unique experience in this region. Something very unique of this particular temple is that you can enjoy both the sunrise and the sunset sitting in the same Buddhist shrine. As you climb up the stairs, when you reach almost towards the last, that is the 9th level of the shrine, and the circular path takes you all around the stupa. So on the eastern side, if you look into it, if you are waiting for the sunrise, there's a very unique mountain there. So you can just place your camera directed towards that mountain and enjoy the scenic beauty as the sun rises. Usually it is better to visit that place early dawn when it is still dusk. Climb up the stairs, go to the 9th level of the structure and wait for the sun to rise. The other side, as you take the round and go to the western side, and from there when you witness the sunset, I was talking about this perforated stupa. Now when you walk along that path, that circular path, you will find these perforated dome-like structures, the usual stupas that you see, with those Jaffrey-like unique perforations on the stupa. So as you go close by, take a peek inside those Jaffreys, you will see there's a Buddha seated inside. Very unique. So when you go towards the western side to witness the sunset, there you will find that one of these stupa covers have been taken out. Nobody really knows about the history of that the cover being taken out. But that particular Buddha which is seated gives a very unique photographic experience of clicking that silhouette of Buddha with the sunset. So during this period of sunrise to sunset, you can always climb down the stairs once you have taken the sunrise and you have to wait for few more hours to take the sunset. You can always go down the stairs, take a round into the villages nearby. I had a very unique experience of witnessing the tofu which is made out of the soybeans, and my hotel guy or the home center guy, he took me around to this village, and the people here you'll find is very uniquely friendly and very down to earth and very hospitable, which is very, very important for any place that you visit. And had an experience of talking to the farmers there who are cultivating paddy. Paddy usually, as you know, is predominantly one of the main crops here back in India. However, the paddy which is cultivated in Indonesia, in various parts of Indonesia, are very, very unique in their own ways. So I had that experience of talking to these farmers about their daily life and shows. So that's my experience about Borobudur. Now way to reach there is Yogyakarta Airport, which can be you can have direct flights traveling from Singapore. So if you're coming from India, you can take a flight to Singapore and take a direct flight from Singapore to Yogyakarta, and then on the way back from there. If you're coming from the other parts of the world, the best way to reach there is if you have a direct flight to Jakarta, you can go directly to Jakarta and then take a small domestic flight from Jakarta to Yogyakarta. Otherwise, the best way is to travel to Singapore, and from Singapore you take a direct flight to Yogyakarta. Unique experience. You must visit Borobudur at least once in your lifetime. Thank you for hearing.